everybody, good afternoon and welcome to Daily Distinction. Glad that you were here as we continue to celebrate the 4th of July weekend and just getting some stuff done here at the house and in the office today. We'll get on with the Ken and Glenn show and a guy named Scott that's coming up later on today. It's 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific. So I want to make sure that you join us there. So hi to everybody joining in. And as always on the weekend, just kind of a quick check-in just to see how you're doing and touch base, see what's going on. We're getting, golly, I've got 3 or 4 things I'm going to be announcing this coming week I'm really excited about. So we're trying to get some work done here over the holiday weekend and doing some really good relaxing too. So Charles, good to see you. Oh, you're back home in Silicon Valley. That's good. Glad you had a safe trip. Glad you're home safely. Hey, Justin, great to see you. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you checking in on a Sunday afternoon. And man, I tell you, it was so strange. And I mentioned this a little bit yesterday. One of the great thrills I had back in my broadcasting days was working for Wish TV, WISH TV. That was at the time the CBS affiliate in Indianapolis. And at this particular time, I hadn't started anchoring the weekend news yet, but it was the first Brickyard 400. And I mean, it was a huge deal in Indianapolis because the stock cars had never, ever been on the Indianapolis Motor Speedway before. And so Wish TV, granted, man, I'm a freelancer, right? I wasn't part of the, regular paid air staff, but Lee Giles, that was the news director there, who holds the record, I believe, still to this day for serving the longest as the news director at one particular station. He was the guy that discovered Jane Pauley, for example. Anyway, so Lee put me on the track. So I was live on the track as they were wheeling stock cars onto the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the first time. If you're not a racing fan, that won't mean much. But if you're a NASCAR fan or a IndyCar fan, it was just huge because I was talking to Jeff Gordon and all those guys as they were coming out. The other cool thing is at one of the Brickyards later, Diamond Rio, my good pal, sang the national anthem. So they take us up this, and I'm tagging along with them. So they take us up these steps. They were kind of like winding steps up. They were going to go into a room, and I just assumed that the room was where they were going to go out, to sing the anthem. And we go into the room, and it's every driver, and it's this tiny little room, and it's every driver. And Tony Stewart, I mentioned before, Tony used to listen to me on the radio when he was in high school. So he's a big pal of Diamond Rio. So he's over hanging with us. And, so then the other drivers knew Diamond. So we got to hang and talk with all the drivers. And this is the weirdest thing. The only person that had his girlfriend in the room, there's only one woman in the room, and Jeff Gordon brought his girlfriend, which I thought was interesting that he was the only one. Second, the only other non-driver there, other than Diamond Rio and me tagging around and a couple of race officials, was Bill Goldberg, the wrestler, which was crazy. He was a super nice guy, but it was just so strange. Anyway, I got to be on the Brickyard 400 today, and I got to be on the track for the very first one, and it's really interesting to see how how NASCAR at that time was just at the height of its popularity, and to watch the race yesterday, the IndyCar race and the Infinity race yesterday, and there's nobody in the stands. And today, here's the Brickyard 400, and there's nobody in the stands. How much times have changed. You love racing, Justin? Me too. I'm a race fan. Ted, happy Sunday to you. It's always great to see you. Weldon, great to see you, and I hope we see you tonight with the Ken and Glenn show. You just got a Facebook friend request from Zig Ziglar. Let me just say, Pam, wow. Oh, man. It's funny you say that because I was just clearing out a couple things off my phone because, somebody texted me, said, hey, great to see you. And it's not my name. And it makes you wonder, okay, is that a wrong number? Or is that just a scam just to see if you never know these days. So our church has not gotten together again for services, which I think is very prudent, particularly here in Las Vegas when you see the numbers of what's happening here. So Tammy and I attended church this morning virtually, right? We put it up on the big screen in our house, big television, and we watch it and enjoy church that way. We attend a church called Verve that my good pal Mike Rayburn helped to found. Mike is a speaker and a Carnegie Hall guitarist and a member of our group speakers roundtable. So anyway, Vince Antonucci, who is our minister, is just so insightful and so fantastic. And he told a story this morning that I want to relate to you, not in a sense of part of a sermon, because that's not what I do here, but as part of something just for us to think about as we think about various things here on this weekend. So Vince told the story of this restaurant owner that goes out the back door of his restaurant and he finds a homeless person in the dumpster looking for food. And he is so moved by this homeless man's situation that he helps the homeless man out of the dumpster and he walks him into the restaurant, which he owned like a cafeteria style restaurant. And he points out the cafeteria line and he said, I am so moved by your circumstance. And I am so moved by how difficult life must be for you. I want to extend you an offer that every day you can come eat lunch and it's on me every day. And he points down the cafeteria line. Every day you can have as much as you want. Just take your plate, get anything and everything you want. It's on me as long as I own this restaurant. And the homeless man said, wow, that means I can get in the dumpster at any time. And that story really struck me. And Vince talked about it. And it's kind of, so then, I'm trying to get in better shape. And thanks to my friend JJ Virgin, who is helping me with that. And so I'm walking a couple miles every morning. So, after the sermon's over, I go for my walk and I'm listening to the late, great Jim Rohn that you hear me talk about so much. And he mentioned about how there's this ocean of opportunity out there. And most of us go to the ocean with a thimble. And he said, man, at least go with a bucket. Right? You can get what you want. It's free. And the parallel of those two stories, the homeless man that couldn't wrap his head around the fact that you could get out of the dumpster. You could have this buffet. And in Jim Rohn's story about how we go to this ocean of opportunity with a thimble, to hear both of those within the space of like 30 minutes really struck me that must be what I'm supposed to talk about for a minute here today. And that is that it is so easy during this time when there's so much wrong, whether we're talking about the pandemic and the numbers and the increase, or the venom and the anger that people are making everything from masks on and on and on into some kind of political statement as opposed to a public health statement. When we see people being taken down over an innocuous comment on Twitter, or people that can't wait to believe the worst, that when that is going on, it gets so easy for us to be negative. I've always found it interesting that no organization, no company I've ever worked for has ever had to hire a demotivational speaker. I mean, no organization ever has to hire somebody to come down and hose their people down and, turn them down a notch because they're just too excited and working too hard and getting too much effort and have too good of an attitude. We got to take them down a notch. No organization in history has ever had to hire a demotivational speaker. But a lot of them hire people to charge batteries and to lift spirits. And why is that? Because it's so much easier to be negative than to be positive. It really is. We don't have to work hard at being more negative. Right? You've never woke up a morning in your life and went, man, I need to be a little bit more negative today. But we have to work on being positive. Why that is, but that's not why we're here today. It's to talk about the fact that during these times, we have to work on that. And part of the way that we work on that is to realize this ocean of opportunity, this buffet of incredible opportunity that is out there for all of us. Let's not dive back in the dumpster. Let's not go with a thimble. Let's think about how we can take a bucket. Sonia, you love the bucket. That's it. You bet. That bucket that can make us better. Charles, people need to be made aware of the true opportunities that not only our country, but this world offers to each and every one of us. Yeah, you were so right, my friend. It is so easy to look at the hole and not the donut, right? I mean, it is so easy. It is part of our natural tendency to do so. So I wanted this to be just a short and sweet reminder to all of us today that what do you need to learn? It's available and it's online. How do you need to get better? It's available. It's here. What do you need to do? And here's the other thing. In many cases, it's free. Even in the cases that it's not, the return that you get on your investment is extraordinary. There's a mastermind that I've paid to join. And I got to tell you, it's been going on a month, and I feel like it's already paid for itself. And it was a substantial investment. But man, I'm already getting a return from it. Now, here's the other aspect. All of this is kind of like a Coke bottle. No deposit, no return. If we don't make some kind of deposit, we can't expect some kind of return. Yet so many times people want the return without making the deposit. They want the result without making, they want the car to take them where they want to go without putting the fuel in to get them there. And so part of what you and I have to do is, first of all, approach with our bucket, not a thimble, approach looking at a buffet and not a dumpster, and realize how much is out there. Hey, Terry Brock, my good pal Terry is on here. We realistically see what is happening and embrace how to help, focus on what is good and how to become better. It's scientifically smart, Terry. It's not, and that's where you and I have faced this a lot. And Charles, it's exactly the story I was getting ready to tell. And Terry, as a terrific Hall of Fame speaker, has faced it as well, is that people will say, yeah, but it doesn't last. Like that means it's worthless. As Zig says, as Charles pointed out, showers don't last either, but it's good to take one every once in a while, right? So this ocean, and it's just like the waves of the ocean. If you don't catch the first one, there's another one coming. It's constant. So whatever you need to learn, whatever you need to do, however you need to grow, it's all available for you out there. And the waves keep coming. It's just a matter of, will you take advantage of it? Now, again, you may have to make a deposit, right? There are some things that you may need to invest in. And that is also challenging during times like this, right? Because we want to hunker down. And I'm not saying, I'm not saying be a spendthrift. Please don't misunderstand me. But strategic investments during challenging times can sometimes pay extraordinary dividends. So take a look at, and let me go back to Terry's comment. It's scientifically smart. How can we be smart during this time of change? That's what we want to examine and what we want to focus on. So my mentor, the late Grady Nutt, used to tell the story about if you take a goldfish out of its bowl and put it in a pond, it will continue to swim circles the size of the bowl because it will not explore the vastness of the pool. And that you and I aren't placed here in this vast pond merely to swim tight circles. What we have to do is to approach the world and the opportunity that it's presented, even during times that things seem so messed up, with a positive approach and with dedication and perseverance, and realize that if we do make the deposit, we can expect a better return. And Dwayne, sometimes you have to find the right way for you. That is a brilliant comment, right? That is a brilliant comment. Just because this wave isn't the one that's going to take you, you watch surfers. Dwayne, you reminded me, if you watch surfers in a competition, they don't jump on the next wave. You'll watch surfers in a competition that'll wait until it's the right wave for them. Pretty good strategy. Hey, Mike, great to see you. Sometimes it's either look at the negative possibilities rather than take the leap to give up your deposit. Yeah, exactly. And it's Mike, to your point, isn't it fascinating that many of the world's great fortunes were founded during times of challenge and change and most people passed on the opportunity. Yeah. You have to take that leap. You have to take that leap. The ocean of opportunity. I'm going to start talking about that more, Charles. I appreciate that. So just wanted to check in today on a little bit shorter weekend version of Daily Distinction. Don't forget the Ken and Glenn show with a guy named Scott is coming up tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific. Also, I've been reminding our friends to save the date. The Ultimate Business Summit is coming August 13th and 14th. We're going to have a big announcement. I told you I got several big announcements coming this week on Daily Distinction. I'm really excited about it. This is going to be one of them. We got some special opportunities for you. So happy Independence Day weekend, everybody. Thank you for being here. Hope to see you tonight on the show. And I'll see you tomorrow at this same time on the next Daily Distinction. I appreciate you so much. Talk to you again tomorrow.